Welcome to everyone. In this lecture I will discuss about the different aspect of function calling. In the previous lecture we have seen that what is function definition, how do I call a function, what is function prototype, and in this lecture we will cover how many different type of user defined function. So there are basically four aspects of function calling. It may be happen that function may or may not be accept any argument. It may or may not return any value. Based on this fact, there are four different aspects of function call. First one is function without argument and without return value. Second one is function without argument and with return value. Third one is function with argument and without return value. And the last one is function with arguments and with return value. So there are four variations, four different aspects of function call. First one is without argument and without return type. Second one is without argument and with return type. Third one is function with argument and without return type. So I will discuss one by one in a few seconds. Let's start with the first one. No argument, pass and no return type. What does it mean actually? In this lecture I will explain the four different type of user defined function in respect of calling with the same example. Here is a simple example of prime number. So first we have to know what does mean the prime number. Prime number is a whole number greater than 1. Look at the definition. I have already written here. A prime number is a whole number greater than 1 and whose only factor are 1 and itself. So a factor is a whole number that can be divided evenly into another number. So first example, if you take a prime number between 1 to 30, so we will consider that 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 and so on. So number that have more than 2 factors are called actually composite number. So the number 1 is neither prime or nor composite number. So we already know the definition of prime number, everybody know in our school level, so that we can explain to check a number is prime or not. With the same example we will explain all four type of different calling function. So first example, no argument, pass and no return type. So look at this one. In this example, this is my function prototype. This is my function prototype. The name of the function is check prime number. This is the name of the function, and void is a return type of this function. So look at this, at the end of this prototype there is a semicolon. So we can understood from this syntax that it's a prototype of this function. This is return time, this is name, it is a prototype. So first is, in this function we have no pass any argument. So it's a no argument function. So look at the function definition. Look at the function definition. Here both are same. There is no argument inside this function. And we have just called the function. Without passing any argument. So this is call function. Since I don't want to return any value from this function, so return type of this function is void. So that means after executing this function will not return any value to the main function. So that's why the return type of this function is void. So now think about it. If I want to check whether the given input number is prime or not, so first we have to take an input from the keyboard. So in this example I have taken a number n. N is a integer variable. So I will give a printf. I will use the printf message to display the message to the user so that it can enter a positive integer number. And scanf use scanf %d ampersand n is used. That means whatever the value has been given by the user from input, it will be assigned to this variable n, value at address n. Okay, so you already know that how to take input from keyboard and how do I assign value to a particular variable. It's clear to everyone. Now I have to check. So before that we have to check. Suppose for example I have just given input 7. That means I have to check starting from 2 whether the number is divisible by 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. In this way we have to continue, but we have to keep that in mind. If we have a factor of that number or 1, except if more than 2 factor, then it will be treated as a prime number. So we need a for loop. So that's why here the starting or initialize the variable, initialize variable I. We have taken I is the integer variable whose value is 2. So it will start the I equal to 2 as the initialized value of this for loop, and it will continue up to the number divided by 2. So up to this point it's very okay. So I less than equal to n by 2, and it will automatically increment I plus plus mean it will increment by value 1. So if its number is divided by that value, it may be 2 or it may be 3, it may be 4. So every time, so number, for example n is 10, so 10 divided by 2 equal to 0. Yes, if it is yes, I will change for remembering that there is a change, or you can say we can get another factor by using a flag variable equal to 1. Initially the value of the flag variable is 0 for understanding that is my initial value, and at the end I will check if flag equal to 1, the value is not a prime number. So whatever you have given from the input, it is not a prime number. But if the value flag value remaining the same, then I can say that the number is a prime number. So that means that number is not divisible by any other number. So this is actually the explanation of this program. So I am just explaining into more that we have called this function from the main function. So after calling this function, so the control will be transferred to this function body, function definition, and we have seen that there is a no argument and here is a no return statement is there. So that means return type is void, meaning does not return any value. So then I will take an input from keyboard with the help of this line, and through scanf we will assign the value to this variable n. That means we will read the input from keyboard, and then we will take an for loop, and the for loop initialized value is 2, and the for loop will be continued, and every time I will check whether the value is divided by some number or not up to that number. If it is equal to 0, then we can say that it's not a prime number, otherwise we can say that it's a prime number. So this is a simple example. You have already done this type of example in numeric problem. So let's execute this program. So I have just opened the terminal. So name of the program is PROZ1. So GCC PROZ1 argv1.c, this is the name of the file, then minus o output file name, you already know that. For example, suppose I am giving the name of the new file example1. So this is the new name, its compilation is okay. So dot /example1, right? So enter a positive number. Enter a positive number. For example, I have given 13. 13 is a prime number. So that means that number is not divided by the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So let's check with another number which is divisible. For example, if I want to give 9, yes, 9 is a prime number, because when we put the 9 here, so first I equal to 2, so 9 divided by 2 equal to no, then I will increment the I value will be 3, 9 remainder modulus sign by 3 equal to 0, yes. So flag value will be 1, so this message will be displayed. So in this way this program will be continued. So in this example we have explained that how to call a function without a argument. Without the argument. Without argument, and this function is not written anything. So this is our first type of function, without arguments and without return. Let's move to the next one. So let me open the second one. So every time I am not going to discuss this problem, because this problem is same for all throughout the example, throughout the lecture. I am just discuss what is the difference here. So in this function, no argument passed, but we have a return type. So look at this, we have a return type. For in this function, whatever the function it is, for example in this function I have just taken a function name get integer, and the return type of this function is integer. So look at the parameter of this function. So here, prototype of this function integer, get int integer, then semicolon. It's okay. So no argument passed to this function, so there is no argument, but a return type. So according to our definition, this function is perfectly matched. Now yes, I am explaining this. So first, this part is same, because this part is checking whether the number is prime or not. But the only difference in this function, just I have made, you can make in different way also. There is a no fixed rule that you have to do in this way. You can do in different way also. So I have just called this function, name of the function is get integer. So that means I want to get some number from keyboard, and that function is written here, get integer. So I will take an input a positive number, and that number is n, and the value of n will be returned to this point, and the value will be assigned to this variable n. That's why I have defined a variable int n in main function. Okay. So whatever the value, first it will call this function, and this line will be executed, enter a positive number, then I will give input from keyboard, then the value will be assigned to this variable, and that value will be passed to this calling function, and value will be assigned to this variable n. Okay, and then it will continue starting from 1, and the loop will be continue n by 2 times. For example, if it is 8, it will be continue less than equal to 4 times. If it is 9, it will be continue less than equal to 4. So in this way and then you will check whether the number is divisible or not. If it is value is changed, then you can say that number is not a prime number, otherwise it is a prime number. I have already discussed these things. So let me execute these things, this program. So name of the program is program2. Name of the file is program2, program2.c -o, for example. The new file name, then dot example. So enter any positive number. For example, I am just positive number, for example 17. 17 is a prime number. So let me execute one more time with the different input. For example 15. So 15 is not a prime number. So it's very simple. So only difference with the first one and second one is, in this function we have a return type but no arguments. So when defining a function, there is no argument, there is a prototype, you can see that there is no argument. So that means when I declare a function, define a function, the function is no argument. Okay, so the difference with first one and second one is only the second point, no argument passed to this function, but there is a return type in the second one. In first one we have seen that there is no return type. This is the second type of user defined function. Let's move to the third one. Our third one was function with arguments and with return value. So that means function with arguments and without return value. So it has some argument but no return type. So let's check the third one. So argument pass but no return type. Check, there is a return type is void in the function definition, but here is only one argument. For example, here int end. Look at the definition. Return type is void means does not return any value, and I have just passed only one parameter and only one argument, that is n. And this is the type of the parameter. You already know that int is the data type, so int is the data type and the variable name is n. So you can see return type is void meaning does not return any value. Okay, so in this example, this is my main function and this is my call function, that is user defined function. So code is same, but the only difference is first I have take the input from keyboard from this line. I will give the message and using scanf statement we will read the input from keyboard. After that, this value, whatever the value has been returned has been taken from keyboard, that value has been passed to this function by using n. You already know that. For example, if I put input integer as a 15, so that value 15 will be passed to this function and that value will be copied to this variable n. You can change any number, there is no problem, but this value will be passed to this function. After that, the procedure is same. So loop will be continued. If it is divisible by some number, then it will be is a not prime number, otherwise it's a prime number. Okay, so function definition is same, only difference is we have an argument but we don't have a return type. So this is the third type of user defined function, with argument and without return value. So now move to the last one. With argument has been passed to you and there is a return value. So compare with the last one, here is only one difference, there is a return type. These are return type. Look at the definition, only one change, there is a return type. Int check prime number within first bracket int n. Okay, so there is only one difference, there is a return type. So that means whatever the value has been executed, that value will be returned to this function. Okay, so look at this. In this example, I have just taken, I have made some modification so that I can print the output whether the number is prime or not in the main function. So that's why I have just written the value of plugged variable. So look at the difference. In this function, I have just whatever the value has been passed to this. For example, I have just taken 15 compared to the first one. The 15 will be passed to this function as an argument. The value will be passed to this argument, and here the n equal to 15. Then integer I equal to 2, I less than equal to 15 by 2 means 7. The loop will be continue up to starting from 2, and it will be continue up to the condition I less than equal to 7, and every time it will be incremented by 1. So if 15 modulus 2 equal to 0, return 1. So that means if the condition is satisfied, for example, the next loop, when the I equal to 3, the loop condition will be satisfied, then it will return 1. And the flag value here, when the value will return, the value will be assigned to this variable flag. So flag equal to 1, then based on this value we can check if the flag equal to 1, then it is prime, not a prime number, otherwise it's a prime number. The same thing. But if there is a no divisor is found in this example, then it will return 0. So that means this line will be executed. So this is the simple one. So only difference is we have a argument, we have a also return type. So we have seen 4 type of user defined function. First, no argument, no return type; no argument but has return type; argument but no return type; argument and return type also. There are 4 variation in user defined function. You know, user defined function is very frequently used in our programming language, because most of the time we will not get that, not use the standard library function, because as per our requirement we have to write so many user defined functions. So here is one of the example of how to write a user defined function. That's why I'm just explaining all details in a such way that you can understood it very well, that you can explain your concept or express your concept, so that there is no mistake in your exam. So we have seen that there are 4 kind of, we have already covered the 4 kind of argument pass to a calling function. And so now if I think which one is the best one, which approach we would like to use every time, so you can use any of them, there is no problem, but we will prefer basically with return type. We will prefer write with return type with some argument. That is the actual advantage of the function, so that we can effectively use any function. So as per your requirement, as per your choice, you can choose any of them. There is no problem. That's all about this function, different aspect of function calling. In next lecture we will cover different type of difference between the argument and parameters, and I will also discuss or cover the call by value and call by reference. Okay, thank you.